to episode 420 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcasts. Go to theathletic.com/down2dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. I am Luke, joined this morning by Andrew.
I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Slam through.
Taylor.
It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. You buttoned it up now, wait till you get older. But the medium man back to never judging by the hole in the satellite pictures. Slap through. Shai's an all-star starter.
And Jay.
That was horrible.
It was actually pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Golly. Hey, I
Jay's
want to
a
just take a
hater
moment
this
of
morning.
confession. The reason we started 10 minutes late is because I stomped my big feet and broke our desk.
It's true.
And Andrew had to pull out a drill and fix it.
It's true.
The last
6:30 in the
15
morning.
minutes. 6:30 in the morning. Just
Dang.
this
Handyman.
is just real dad life over there.
Handyman.
Except for his child is me.
Yep.
Yeah, Shai is a starter.
All-star starter.
That was awesome. Did you know about that before they announced it on TNT?
Mm-mm.
I did.
I
felt it.
I mean, we knew.
felt it in my bones.
I mean, we knew.
I did not know. So, and I was trying to stay off Twitter because I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
I got
was-
a notification. It was like threw my phone across the living
Yeah.
room.
It is so much more fun to not know things. By the way, I
Yeah.
forgot what it feels like to not know and to be genuinely surprised and happy.
What notification did you get?
So they don't notice it. So it wasn't that it was early necessarily compared to like probably, but I don't know why DirecTV. The same thing with game
Oh,
times.
it's like just like a couple seconds behind.
Sometimes like 30 seconds. They're like, I can't remember what game it was this week. Oh, it was when J-Dub hit the shot.
Yeah.
As I'm scrolling Twitter watching the game,
Oh.
and Royce, who's in the arena,
Mhm.
says dub.
Yeah.
And I was like,
You're like, come
oh,
on.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it means. And sometimes it's even worse as I'll get on to like check box scores on ESPN.
Yeah.
And as I go into the box score, that score is
It's
updating.
ahead.
And there was a game, it was like a minute and 15 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
That's
not
why
great.
I only go to games now.
That's how I'm traveling to every game.
Exclusively going
Yeah.
to games.
Fourth all-star starter in the history of the Thunder in 15 years. 20th all-star, birth ever.
Wow, that's a lot of birds.
There have been births many times. 20 all-stars in the 15-year history of the franchise is crazy.
That is crazy.
It's third. Like, I think the only other two franchises that have done that. Would you want to take a guess in the last 15 years?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Lakers,
Lakers. And
Golden State.
Does it tally up for Golden
Celtics.
State?
Celtics.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I guess Golden State, I don't know if they have, they may have somewhere close to that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They have to.
But it's pretty wild that a small market like this has that many all-stars.
It's called a tradition of excellence.
That's right.
Wow. I would be even more elated if when the reserves were called. I don't think this is going to happen. The West is stacked.
Yeah. I just don't-
But between either Dub or Chet,
yeah.
if they were in the East, who's talking about this? I think it was Tim Bontemps. No, it wasn't. It was Sam on the podcast with you yesterday.
Yeah.
He's like, if they were in the East, like there's a chance one or both of them could, at least get some real conversation about it.
Mhm.
Well, you know what we got to do? We got to just pray every day for injuries.
There
I will
there
not
could
do
be
that.
quite a few in the West.
I think we're headed towards a dub snub.
Yeah, we're heading toward dub snub.
Is it going to be a
For
snub,
Next
though?
year's the Dub year.
Yeah.
Because the narrative is around him is just starting to grow more and more. Like
Mm.
he just was under the radar. Chet had the name, had the people were intrigued by him. People were watching him, and he's playing well. Like he has not been the same over the last couple weeks,
Yeah.
but he's still playing so well within what the team needs.
Yeah,
and you're not
the
seeing
Defense is still so
necessarily the
good.
team suffer in a dramatic way. It's just
Mhm.
Dub has been like stand out level of good.
Like the fourth quarter
Level of
stuff
great.
with Dub is like pretty crazy.
Well, and the game winner obviously was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dub he didn't get invited to the Olympics, correct?
Yeah, that's
That's a
stupid.
schnub.
That's
Yeah.
a straight snub.
That was true.
That's a snub.
Snubbery.
Yeah, they're gonna regret that.
Yeah, because he's going
Mhm.
to go play for another country.
Exactly. Change citizenship.
Go be Canadian.
That would,
Just like the rest of the team.
that would actually be really cool if he did that. Yeah, over the let's go over the last 10 games for Dub. Let's see what he's averaging. Yeah, over the last 10 games, 25 and 6, with a steal and a half a block, shooting 56, 46, 81.
Yeah.
It's good.
Over the last 10 games, and the Thunder are 8-2 in their last 10.
Feels good.
Which is so funny because just 2 weeks ago, it felt like the sky was falling a little bit where they lost to the Clippers and the Lakers back to back. And you're like, hell, this must be the slump. Here we go. And then they come back and, beat Minnesota. Great win.
Great win.
Beat the Jazz.
Utah.
Great win. Then
Great win.
have this nice little stretch where they play 3 bottom dwellers. Although the Portland game was way closer and better than it should have.
Should have lost that game.
They should have lost that game.
Chauncey Billups is the reason.
They didn't. They end up not protesting.
It was I hate
Yeah.
that stuff so
That was so
much.
emotional. The Mavs do that crap too.
Well, also the Woj being the one to have it too. It's just like total eye roll to all of it. It's like, this is so dumb. Like, one, they were never going to win the protest anyways, and the fact that Woj is the one.
Also, Portland wants to lose
Saying
games.
Yeah. Also, you stink.
Yeah,
and
trade
it
Malcolm
doesn't
Brogdon,
matter.
by the way. You should get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Also, Chet in these last 10 games, we're like, man, Chet's not been playing very well.
Nobody has.
16, 7, and 3.5 assists with 2.6 blocks per game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very
If we
good.
said that, like, hey, that's what he's going to do for the season, we would have been like, whoa.
Yeah.
Bold. And I mean, and that's not that good, shooting 53% from the field,
What's he shooting from 3 over the last 10?
34,
Not bad.
which is still
For a center,
yeah.
it's above average.
yeah.
For him, it just feels like, I mean, I don't know. I think he's going to be one of those that the expectations are just substantial for him.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, do we want to, can we go on a rampage about the game on Wednesday night?
Please.
Rampage?
The worst broadcast ESPN could have possibly thrown out.
Dude.
A total. Now I didn't. To be fair, did not watch the 4th because I went to bed. It was too late. And the game. Anytime they're on TNT or ESPN, it's like, oh, just add 30 minutes.
Jay
How long the
Sleepy.
game's
Yeah.
gonna be. And I didn't see it when Chet and Wemby really got at it in the 4th quarter.
Mhm.
But like, the Spurs are not a rival. Like, I don't know who I would say Thunder's rival is right now. It's totally Chet and Wemby. The team itself was trying to play all of it down, and it's just I'm tired. I know Wemby is the draw
Yeah.
right now, but Mike, can we stop putting him on national TV all of the time?
Yeah, that Spurs team is miserable to watch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm like, and let's put them on every freaking night. Now, maybe they know, and having this all-world rookie out there is what people want to watch. But I'm like, it's brutal to turn on the NBA on a national TV night, and there's good games that are being played on local stations, and the Spurs are playing on.
Yeah.
They're the second worst team in the NBA. They're terrible.
They're really bad. The Thunder just tore them apart. Like,
Yeah.
killed them.
And you knew it was coming. Like, oh, it was tight in the first half, and then it was like just slowly, you know.
Is that where the screen grab came from? That's like Wemby slams it to bring the Spurs within 25.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Yeah. It's ridiculous too. That
You guys weren't scared of Champagne
no
just
man.
going off in the
No.
4th?
No, they have some good players. They're just also just like weirdly not like everybody just wants to completely kill their supporting cast, in which there's definitely parts of that team that aren't NBA players, but they also have some good players. And so to me, I mean, they're 8-36.
They should be further along
They
with
should
the
be-
talent they have.
They should be better than 8-36. And I'm like, Devin Vassell is a really good player. Like,
Mhm.
how many people talked about how good Devin Vassell is last year?
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
Well,
And
and he got the
now-
contract.
And now it's, oh my gosh, Wemby is playing with nobody.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. Give me a break with that one. Like, Keldon Johnson's a good player. Jeremy Sohan's a good player. Zach Collins is a good player. All those guys would play minutes on good teams.
Doug McDermott,
Doug McDermott is a good pro.
Zach Collins.
Everybody talks about how much they like Trey Jones. Like, give me a break with all of that. They're not being coached well. They're not playing well together. And like and then everybody just wants to be like, well, Wemby has nobody. That's BS.
Do you think Pop is so I don't know if you saw Pop's comments about comparing this Spurs team to like when Parker and Manu and Tim were there. He's saying I could coach them different because they had all the fundamentals, we had an understanding. And he was like, this team, they don't know anything. All we're working on is fundamentals.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, I don't know. I think you're not seeing your team. I think you're like underrating your own team and then not coaching them properly because you're seeing them as like a high school team or something.
I think it's number one. I would say it's okay. Like, don't be good.
Yeah.
Like, take another year.
This
This is not necessarily a draft you get excited, but get a point guard or some sort of lead guard, and then really put your timeline 3 to 4 years out. The issue is I don't need to see that team all the time.
Yeah. Well, and they're on pace to win less games than they did last year. Do we realize that?
No.
And like Spurs fans are insane.
Rockets fans, Spurs fans, Jazz fans. Rank them.
I mean,
the worst to least worst.
It depends on what you mention. But if you mention anything about Chet Wemby,
oh, I know. I made that mistake.
like, it is just a disaster for you.
Well, that's all the Spurs have right now.
Yeah.
Is Wemby.
Is this, I mean, they want this Wemby Rookie of the Year thing so badly.
They want it so bad.
So badly. It is insane. It is like their only mission in life right now. And yeah, Wemby is a really good player, and he's going to be a great player. Yes. But you're on pace to win less games than you did last year. And he's one of like the worst high volume 3-point shooters in the league.
Yeah.
His shot selection is not very good. He has defensive moments where he's like, whoa, this is crazy. But he's also part of the problem why their defense isn't very good.
All right. Since we're in a Hayton mood, I feel like also Hayton is on Pop specifically.
Yeah.
Would this Spurs team be better if they were coached by Will Hardy?
Yes. Yes, they would.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There we
if
go.
they were coached by Will Hardy, they would probably have like 16 or 17 wins. And he would probably be like the leader in Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they have guys on their team that are good players. Devin Vassell is a good NBA player. Sohan's a good NBA player. Keldon Johnson's a good NBA player. They're just not being put in position to be successful. And like, that's fine. That's fine. They don't need to be successful this year. But also, like, let's just not pretend that Wemby has absolutely nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just not fair either.
Yeah, or the narrative that was really fun on Twitter was like, Chet seeking mismatches, Wemby seeking Chet. I'm like, yeah, that is what you're literally supposed to do.
Yeah, that's how you play
Sorry,
smart
they
basketball.
play winning basketball versus like one-on-one trying to make a highlight film. I'm like, what is that? Is that a critique? What are we doing here?
Yeah, people are so mad at me because I was like, well, I thought it was just interesting.
That was a little bit of a passive aggressive trolling, and I appreciated it.
Well, I just thought it was interesting that that Wemby was a -11 and Chet was a +11, and not to say that like plus minus is the end all be all. It's not, but it's interesting because their approaches were very different and opposite within the game itself, and that just like was a funny way of telling it.
Here's one I have that the TNT crew talked about. I can't remember when, but I saw a clip. They said, if Wemby were on the Thunder, if you swapped places, Wemby and Chet, would the Thunder be better than they are now?
I think
would the Spurs be worse?
I don't think the Spurs. I mean, the Spurs would be worse. No, the Spurs can't be worse than this. I don't think they're worse than this. I think Chet would help them a little bit. And then he's also a better, like Chet's a better passer. Chet's a better ball handler right now too than Wemby is, which I think would help that Spurs team because they need just a little bit more of that. And then like I think the Thunder would be just as good with Wemby at center. So I don't think that it would matter all that much. The thing is like they're both awesome.
Yeah.
And like that kind of gets lost in these conversations too. It's like they're both incredible players. They're both like destined to be all-time great players. But people are just ultra sensitive when it comes to
Yeah, and we don't have to tear
talking
one
about
down
it.
necessarily to,
But we
I
just
mean,
have to.
do.
except for
kinda
when
do.
we
need
tear
to
down
win.
Wemby.
We
Yeah.
do need to win Rookie of the Year.
Also, it was really neat. So that guy, Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, starter in the All-Star game,
Mhm.
just wildly efficient against the Spurs. 9 of 15 from the field, 2 of 2 from the 3-point line. So
doesn't even play the fourth.
I don't know what, and I know I could do this here in just a second, but I'm like, he is also getting to his step back three
Mm-hmm.
and adding that to his game. I don't know, like consistently. And I know it's not a high percentage shot, whatever, blah, blah, blah for a lot of people, but man, he has been, it's just unreal watching him play.
Yeah.
And to be able to shoot 9 of 15 against, one of the, in theory, best shot blockers, rim protectors, like he just
Mhm.
was still attacking and still, I don't
Yeah.
know, it was just special to watch
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Dylan in the chat says the Thunder would be worse because Wemby can't space the floor. That's a good point
That's a good point.
because Chet's
a
been
good point.
consistently a good 3-point shooter and somebody that they can go to at the end of games. And Wemby would not be that.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby provides other things. He's probably a little bit better lob threat. But he's not a better, floor spacer. So I think that's a great point, Dylan. I think you're right.
Thanks, Dill.
And the Spurs could use more 3-point shooting in general.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh my gosh, and Penny.
if you gave Chet a lot of possessions, like you think that Chet couldn't average 20 points on a bad team?
Yeah, I wonder how many more shots Wemby's getting per game than Chet. I
Well,
just wonder. I'm not going to look it up, but
you're just gonna wonder.
just wonder.
I mean, Chet is only taking 11.9 shots per game.
Mm-hmm.
If he was on the Spurs, he would certainly
11.
take more than 11.9.
11.
He takes 16 shots per game.
Okay.
Wemby does,
That's 5
And-
more.
and that number,
Nice.
yeah,
Thank
That
you.
was fast, Jay.
yeah. And he's scoring 20 points on those 16. Chet is scoring 17 on his 11.9.
Oh,
So you
Oh,
don't. I
mama.
mean, to say that their
Obama.
situations lend to, like Wemby's situation lends to better, just overall numbers. We're talking about counting stats.
Yeah.
Because we've been through this. Somebody has to score the points. Somebody has to grab the rebounds. Isaiah Roby did some stuff that made us think, man, is Isaiah Roby, like, is he going to do this thing? No, he's not going to do that thing.
Is he in the NBA?
No,
Oh, is he not?
no.
I bet he's doing that thing in his local church league.
Oh,
Nah, he's probably in Europe. I bet.
Yeah, probably.
I got you.
But
Greece.
I
I'm
would
gonna call it
just-
Greece.
I would just say
But he's doing that thing in Greece.
people that act like Chet couldn't do all of that. Like he could definitely do a lot of what Wemby's doing. He just doesn't look as the thing that differentiates them the most to me is that Chet doesn't look as crazy when he's doing them. And whenever Wemby does stuff, because he is 7'4" and is so mobile, it just looks crazier when
Right.
he's doing anything.
It looks like the end of Space Jam.
Yeah, it does all the time. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
And he's going to be an amazing player. But to act like he is just so far and away better than Chet, which is just what people had in my mentions all day yesterday. It's like, well, that's just not true. And Chet is, obviously just a much more efficient player. And it's not just because he plays with great players. Because we see players with this team get in the game and they're not efficient.
Right.
And it's,
Name them.
I mean, Josh Giddey is not efficient.
Wow,
God.
man.
Usman Jang. Like people act like Chet is like Oos out there, you know?
Yeah.
Who's like, oh my gosh, anybody could just do what Chet's doing. That's just not, none of that's true. There are players that have not been awesome with this team. And Chet has been amazing for this team.
Well, they're haters.
Anyways,
Anyways.
it's all just so
I like it.
ridiculous.
Pop should retire.
You shouldn't be surprised that haters don't give a hate.
Yeah.
Isaiah Roby is playing for the Westchester Knicks of
Oh,
the
he's in
NBA G
The
League.
G League.
Yeah. You going to the All-Star game this year?
Is he doing that thing?
Nope.
You're
Hanging out
not?
at the house.
No, I'll be here.
Oh my goodness. Why? Why?
When do they decide? Like, at what point does the coaching get defined? Like, how many more games do we have to wait until if the Thunder are in first?
I think it's heading into the All-Star break.
Is it like
Who's
the
first?
last game of the?
I think.
There's a Twitter question about that. Twitter question that comes from at Declan R. Ford, who wants to know, will Mark tank a few games so he doesn't have to go to All-Star weekend?
So their schedule, they got the Pelicans tonight, Detroit Sunday at 1 p.m., Minnesota here Monday night, Denver Wednesday night, and then they have Charlotte, Toronto, Utah, Dallas, Orlando going into the All-Star break.
Cheese.
So there's a few tough ones: Minnesota, Denver, Dallas, Utah, Sacramento.
And I believe that's the 9th game we're playing Minnesota this year.
It kind of feels like it. And then Minnesota has a pretty easy schedule. So like there's a chance that Minnesota, stays in first, and then it's Chris Finch and not Mark.
I can't
think
see
Mark would welcome.
I can't see either of those coaches being the the West All-Star coach.
So here,
Even Chris Finch being the All-Star coach is kind of hilarious to me.
So in theory,
Mhm.
it would be next Sunday. If it's like it was in 2023, whoever is in first after the February 4th games would be the coach for the All-Star game.
after February 4th,
Yep. So it's in 2023, it was 2 weeks prior to the All-Star game. Whoever was in first in both leagues was the All-Star
they're
coach.
named, even if they're not in first going into it.
Well, I'm saying like after that night. So on the 4th, if
Mhm.
they're tied, the Thunder beat the Raptors, the Wolves lose to the Rockets, the
Mhm.
Thunder take over first. In theory,
Mhm.
if it was like it was last year, on Monday morning or Monday at some point, Mark Daignault would be the official coach of the West and the All-Star.
So the Wolves play San Antonio. The Thunder game for them. And
That's a big one.
It could be
Yeah.
the deciding
That's
factor.
Monday.
Yeah.
That could be the
I'll
deciding.
be there.
That could be the
You
deciding.
want me to do
factor.
something?
Yeah.
Will you be
Streak.
there?
Streak.
You think that'll change the outcome of the game?
Yeah, Tanya Harding, those boys.
Dallas,
Stomach.
Orlando, Houston. If that's
That's
the case,
2-4. That's 2-2. I'm calling it right now. Wolves 2-2.
that's 5 games.
Yeah, well, and that third one's a toss up.
Who are they losing to? Dallas,
Orlando
Orlando,
and San Antonio.
and San Antonio. Now we're up to how many losses?
I don't know.
They
How many
did lose
games?
to
Five?
Charlotte.
I think they lose all 5 of
They
them.
did lose to Charlotte.
They almost lost last night. They didn't even break 100 points last night.
I know they have not been as good lately. Yeah, this is, and the Thunder hit this soft part of their schedule too, and didn't perform well.
When
you
was
know.
that? This week?
Brooklyn, Atlanta.
Dude, man, come on, man.
I'm
It's
just
not
saying.
apples to apples, man.
I'm
Let's go
just
back to
saying.
hating on Wemby.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Pop.
like it happened.
Wow.
So the Thunder currently are second net rating in the league, right behind Boston. They have the second best record in the West, top 4 record in the entire league. I think at this point we can stop saying, is this real? And just say, this is who this team is. We're over halfway into the season.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking deep playoff run already. I don't even
Mhm.
care about regular season anymore.
Get me to the playoffs.
I was
Yeah.
talking to somebody about this a couple days ago, and I really am to the point where I'm like, why? If you look at this team's overall makeup with the players they have and the positions they have, and they can put lineups on the floor where it really feels like they don't have like a glaring weakness. And I'm just like, why couldn't this team? Why can't this team be?
That's good.
Why can't they make a championship run?
That did feel really.
Uh,
They can, Jay. They could win it all.
Arms straight.
They could win it all.
the only thing.
Told you it feels good.
Oh,
Told you it feels good.
the only thing is
Man,
age and inexperience. Those are the only two things.
Here's the thing. I have an argument against the age and experience thing that people are not
Let's hear it.
taking. Is that this? They're saying that we don't have playoff experience,
Mhm.
but they aren't accounting for the fans. The OKC fans have playoff experience,
Yeah.
and we know how to show up for the playoffs. And I think that is something they're not taking into account.
We're the sixth man on the floor,
Haven't won a playoff series since 2016.
but we have it.
but we know. We know.
Yeah.
And so I think
Did we
that
just not show up for that PG Russ team?
I think that's what I think we didn't
was that
believe.
not in the bubble like every other playoff that we've had in the last?
Well, there were two
No.
years.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I know,
Jay,
but I'm
come
like,
on.
I'm just saying. Well, after Ricky Rubio outplayed our entire team, I was not really jacked about that Jazz series.
Yeah.
See?
It was Ingles. Ingles destroyed Paul George.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell was so
We
good.
just celebrate that. I didn't watch it, but the Warriors lost last night to the Kings again.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes had 39 points.
They're not going to make. I don't think they're going to make postseason.
It's not looking good. They're going to have to make some trades.
Is Draymond back for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back.
They're going to trade Wiggins. I just don't know who wants him.
Dude, what happened to that guy?
I don't know, but I know that we have the better Wiggins now.
Yeah, we do. Finally,
so good.
he's getting
Best
the
Wiggins in the
recognition
league.
We've been
So
talking
good
about.
against the Spurs.
He was amazing. So efficient. Did you hear Jada?
Why are you so efficient?
Why are you so efficient?
You're so efficient.
That was so funny. Yeah, best Wiggins in the league. Wouldn't trade him for Andrew, even though they called him that on the broadcast. That was like another thing. It was like I get it.
I'm telling you, I watched the Bally. Like I went over and watched my guys.
Yeah, Bally was the right option because
Okay, our broadcast team has gotten noticeably better over the season. By the way, we have been truthers about our broadcast team in the past.
yeah,
It has not been positive in the past. This year, something's changed. Something is clicking. Gallo being more involved has been really good because it's bringing like some humor to it, and they're kind of poking fun at each other and stuff. And that is so.
Paris does a great job.
Yeah, Paris does a great job
is really
too.
good.
There's just more personality. There's more character. You know,
Just put Paris as the color commentator. I'll say it.
Stop it, man.
I like
Here's the deal.
Cage.
Here's some
I'll say it.
Here's some things that I feel incredibly irrelevant around. Number one, I like our broadcast. It's fine. And then I've never been a renowned Thunder jersey hater. Like you guys, sometimes I feel like very out of the loop because you guys are like, that's the worst looking jersey. And I'm like, oh yeah, I hate that jersey too. But in my heart, I've got 3 of them at my house. I wear them around instead of pajamas.
Here's the thing that the thing that the broadcast really
Just a
needs
jersey,
to,
nothing else.
That's it.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh style.
Yeah.
Nice. You know what they
Turtle head.
really need to the thing in the broadcast that they could be the biggest upgrade.
Add down to dunk.
Add down to dunk to the post game.
Yeah.
Especially in these national or these locally broadcast ones. Tonight.
Yeah.
First one. Channel 52 here locally.
Just put us on 52.
Come on. Let's
Come on.
go.
We'll do it.
We'll record right here.
We'll wear tuxedos.
I would.
I would for the first one.
Yeah.
I would.
I'd weekly if they paid for it.
Tuxedos.
If you had to pay for it weekly, tuxedo, you would do it.
You know what's so
They
funny?
would
I
have
think
to pay me enough to cover the cost.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to go into a debt for this.
Well, yeah. Buy a tuxedo.
think about all the people this
Business
year.
expense.
This year
I
that
would also not. I mean, you wouldn't have to put it on a credit card.
Because after
Pay
you
for
rent
but-
it, you have an option to buy. They're really not that expensive. get some tuxes.
I think so, guys. For 2000, we're getting tuxes.
Dang, year 2000?
Our 2000th podcast.
Okay.
All right, think about this. Tonight is the
We'll do it
first.
live with tuxedos. on.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
We'll do it live. Tonight will be the first game that a lot of Thunder fans will have watched this season. Okay. Imagine my dad. And then after the game, we're on.
And they're just like, who?
They're like, what has happened since?
I haven't seen this team in a decade. What in the world did they
Yeah.
We still have the Thunder.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
Taylor, would you bring that energy to the inaugural TV show?
Listen, if you're hiring me, you got to know what you're getting.
We'd have to be a little.
I think you'd have to buy the rights to the songs. You're going to be very expensive.
Oh yeah. I won't do that. I'll just make up songs.
I don't know if you have to buy the rights if you just butcher it the way that he did that Smash Mouth song.
I don't know.
Also, lead singer Smash Mouth passed away in the last 6 months.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. baby.
R.I.P.
Man.
Don't know his name. Worst CD I've ever purchased in my life.
Why are
Isn't it Steve Harvey?
Nope, that's not it.
No,
What?
that's Steve Harvey.
What? What in the world?
No, wait, hold on. Steve Harvey is Steve Harvey. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So
No, it's Steve Harwell.
Steve Harwell. I was
It
close.
was close, actually. I was in high school, and I think it was the first song that came out was "Walking on the Sun" or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're a hater of Smash Mouth, you can get the hell out of here.
I went to Best
I
Buy
agree.
and
I agree.
I bought that
awesome.
CD
Get out
Yeah.
of here.
because I was like, I love that song.
Yeah.
The only song worth anything on that entire album.
That's the thing. That's the thing that you were getting into when it was CDs. You'd buy a CD for one song, and the rest of it would be terrible. Are you trying to sing "Walking on the Sun"?
Yeah, and that what it
No.
is.
And I know John the world by the words of a teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
Teach the world.
To stop the fighters and the liars. Man, it was I don't even know. Most of those words weren't correct, but
I think they
It
were.
sounded right.
the tone was
pretty
correct.
close.
It sounded right.
You did a really bang up job on that.
Just like if that it retracts before it back.
Yeah,
That's a great song. And Smash Mouth overall, their hits hit.
it's true. Name
There-
the top 5 hits of Smash Mouth.
All Star.
Go. All-Star
All-Star.
number 1.
Walking on the Sun.
Walking on the Sun's number 3.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Let me think. Man, those are two big. Okay, there's one from like
I'm
Yeah,
that
I was
was
gonna say.
the Shrek song.
Yeah, that's number
Which-
2.
What is it?
I'm a believer.
Oh yeah.
my
Yeah,
favorite thing
okay.
is like Luke, you went so all in on how great Smash Mouth is, and
Mhm.
Those three songs.
any Smash Mouth
You'll know the other
critique is,
You'll know the other 2.
and then
You'll know
he's
the
like,
other
I
two.
don't know any of their songs though.
Let me think.
You'll know the other 2. You'll actually want to karaoke these after you.
Okay, let me think.
you
Man, those top two.
I have
here.
no idea.
can't get enough of you, baby.
Can't get
Enough of you, baby. Yeah.
Is that a cover? They create that.
I think they created that.
Damn. That's for that to be your fourth biggest.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's really good.
Is it? Did they have a song on Austin Powers stuff? Is it related to Austin Powers? Or was it in?
I don't know. The last one is called "Then the Morning Comes." Then the morning comes.
That is good.
Dun 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 dun. I mean, it's all the same song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very similar to walking on.
Might as well be walking all the sun.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's all.
Dun, 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 dun,
But they-
then the morning comes.
But
Dun.
don't change a winning formula.
I agree.
You know?
It worked.
That's it. That's good. That's a top
14
5. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 14 million, listens on that one
Wow.
on Spotify.
However,
All-Star
All-Star
has
over a billion.
Over a billion
Oh,
listens.
yeah.
That's a good one.
And you know what it
it's a great one.
amounted to? Steve Harvey died a millionaire.
Let's take a quick break. I think we need to get back on track. We'll be right back.
20 solid 20 on Smash Mouth.
Hey, we're back after that quick break.
We're back.
And we are back. You got a Tayshawn's?
Oh yeah.
Jimmy,
John's back to it bigger in victory. John's factoid bigger and free.
Hello, I'm Tayshawn, the T-Man, the T-Dog, the tell your mom about me. Fred Katz. I had a tweet.
Are we really doing this?
Let me finish.
I can't wait to clip this and send it to him.
Fred Katz had a tweet.
He did.
He was talking about Jalen Brunson not making the All-Star starting position and asked Josh Hart about it.
Yeah.
And Josh Hart said, yeah, effing loser. And I loved that. I loved their friendship.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Is Jalen Brunson a snub? Did we have any starter snubs?
It is snub day. International snub day.
Yeah.
I agree. I do think that
Brunson would be the only snub.
I think Brunson is the snub.
Although when I voted, it was basically either Brunson or Tyrese Maxey all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one that could potentially.
Yeah,
Max. You look at the Sixers are second team in the East.
Yeah.
Playing at a high level. I mean, I guess you can make the same argument for Dame because the Bucks are that good. I think Dame has been.
He's not had an all-star starter season.
But I also think that the expectations he has felt underwhelming in response to, right? Like
Definitely.
I just blame that on Adrian Griffin.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I think that Brunson has had a better season than Dame.
I agree.
And so that he should have been the starter. Also, I still am just perplexed by the fact that he plays for the New York Knicks and couldn't get the votes. Because the reason he didn't get chosen as a starter is because he didn't have the
fan vote. Really?
Yeah. And Dame did.
Wow. Yeah, that is
Which
amazing.
is weird because, like, I mean, obviously Dame is a more popular player than Jalen Brunson. But you play for the Knicks.
Yeah. I have thought about Dame the least amount I ever have since he's been in the league this year. Like the Bucks in general are just kind of until this story came out about their coach, I haven't really thought about the Bucks this year. So I'm kind of surprised that Dame got the fan vote like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maxey, I understand why he's not a starter. If you look at the other guys, it's like, okay, he couldn't get it. He'll be an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel a sense of solidarity with the 76ers fans because Maxey does get snubbed a lot. And he's underrated a lot. And he's clearly the second best player on that team.
Yeah.
Very important piece on that team. And as a fan of a team that has players that get snubbed a lot, OKC Thunder, we're snub city over here. I feel for you 76ers fans.
Mm-hmm. Also, I probably would have put AD over LeBron.
Yeah,
in the
LeBron's
West.
just gonna always get it.
I know.
Yeah.
AD's been better. AD's having an awesome season, and deserves to be an all-star starter. But because LeBron is LeBron, he's there. So those are like the only like true snubs. I think everything else is really good.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to say that like LeBron not being a starter would also probably feel like a snub.
Yeah. Maybe.
So it's like maybe AD over KD, but then at that point you're putting up the Lakers.
Lakers don't deserve two.
Right.
They're gonna get two all-stars, but they don't really deserve two.
Yeah, they're
all-stars.
23 and 23 and 9th in the West.
I know.
What teams are gonna have two all-stars? The Lakers will. Phoenix will.
Clippers
will. I mean, the Bucks already do.
What do you think about the Wolves?
I don't think they're not gonna get two.
So Ant will get in and
Probably
Rudy
Ant.
will not.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. No.
The West is too tough for Cat
Mm-hmm.
or Rudy to make it. Yeah, the West is stacked.
What a fun week to have the Hornets, by the way, for your Slam and Jam.
It worked out great.
You got a trade.
Yep.
You got that Wolves win, and then you have a loss to the Pistons.
It's great.
Tune in.
We got the whole thing. Tune in.
Later today?
The drama.
It's already been recorded.
Whoa.
We got to record the intro this morning.
Oh.
Ooh.
So
time for us to leave.
if you guys will just get out of here, please.
I'm going to break this one more time before I go, though.
Fred Katz also tweeted a porn link.
John's factoid bigger and free. John's factoid bigger and free. Yo, it's time for me to give some advice. This week I'm giving advice to Ryan. who says and wants to know, should I go to college and pay out of pocket or work beforehand to make some money before going to college? And how do you choose which college to go to?
Wow.
I think this is a great question. My advice, I think I have two things. It's two tracks. One, I think if you go straight away, straight to college out of high school, which I'm guessing is what your situation is, I think that's the easiest way to go because you're not you're already in school mode and are used to going to school like that, and that will be the easiest to do. But the second is, I think there is something to working a job you hate to then motivate you to say, this job sucks. I need to go to college because that sucks. And so taking a year and doing that, I think there's something to that. But I think it's also the easiest to go straight from one to the other. I think the longer that you don't go, the harder it gets, harder and harder and harder to go.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
That's
That's
true.
what I think.
Yeah. So I have a lot of thoughts about this. Number one is if you're unsure of what you want to do and there's not any kind of draw, and if you're going to be paying out of pocket and you don't know where you're really going to land, I would suggest if you go to college is don't feel ashamed to go to some sort of, junior college or community college just to get your first things. Because what happens to a lot of people is they go to OU, OSU, they start spending a lot of money or accumulating a lot of debt, and they still have no idea what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And so they get through, all of their general ed classes, and they're still thinking, and then often what happens is you just default to a liberal arts degree, which I have a liberal arts degree, right? But a sociology degree, a psychology degree. And if you don't go some sort of grad school with those degrees, more than likely it's just a piece of paper that gets your foot in the door, which really, some of that matters, some of it doesn't. If you don't know what you're doing, don't be ashamed to go to community college. But the other thing I would say to you is explore trade schools. Like if college doesn't, when we grew up in the era where it was like, if you didn't go to college, you were a failure.
Yeah. Totally.
And what has happened nationally is because we have so many people who went to college and so few people who went to trade schools, there's a major shortage of people who have specific skills, plumbers, electricians, if you even carpentry, different things like that.
Yeah.
And the need for those people will always be there.
Welders,
all those different things. I don't know. I felt like I said that weird. Welders.
Welders.
And so don't explore all of those options. That's why I kind of like gap years. It does make it more challenging to get back.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to go and spend money because you think you have to go to the next day, you just really, I know it's so dumb that we ask 18-year-olds who their brains are not fully there yet, and they won't be for another 5 years, to literally they're out of college. We're asking them to make literal life decisions far before they're ready to do so. And so to take some time is not a bad thing.
I totally agree. And by the way, do you know how much money electricians and plumbers and welders can make?
A ton.
These are
Way more than people who
legitimate. These are like legitimate lives you can live with one of those trades. And there's a lot of trades like that. And
It's
also
true.
get into
HVAC.
like mechanic. Oh yeah, HVAC. Oh my God. Mechanical engineering is really good too if you're going to go the college route. Any engineering degree is going to be really good. But like I got business administration. What that can do is get my foot in the door with a corporate company, basically at an entry level position. And also I wanted to touch on this, getting a job and paying for college. The only college you're going to be able to pay for with a job is probably community college or trade school. Like going to a university is so expensive.
Just prepare to be in debt.
Prepare to be in debt,
or work your tail off. Work your tail off to get scholarships. But you're still the likelihood of getting it all covered unless you are excelling either at a sport or some sort of skill, which is esports are giving away tons of scholarships today. But you can also leadership's an easy way to do it. Education is the other part of that. And so if you're really good at those things, then yeah, I do encourage you, if you have children or if you're young and you make under certain income, we learned about this just the other day, is Oklahoma Promise. If you make under a certain income level and your kid achieves a certain benchmark over the course of, freshman through senior year, you can get in-state tuition at a public university free.
The other thing that I think is so important, if you get a scholarship, you need to work to keep the scholarship. Because if you get, let's say, a great scholarship that covers 80% of all your schooling, and then you lose it after your sophomore year, then you're paying 100% for your junior and senior year. And when you're going, it's 80% covered. But you're going there and you lose it, that can be expensive, especially if you're going to like a private university. You're spending a ton of money.
Mhm.
So, and as far as wherever you want, which college to go to, how do you choose? I don't know.
Sometimes it involves like some colleges are not going to have like the specialty that you want. So some of it's like,
true.
And then also you can look up like where does the school rank as far as whatever specialty it is, and
you can always transfer if you get stuck. Dude, there's part of me that I see both values of going where your friends are and then going where your friends aren't.
Yeah,
right. Like I
totally.
can see the value on both of those. If in hindsight for me, I would have gone where my friends were instead of going. I went to UCO, went on a football scholarship anyway, failed out of all of that. But for me, as I'm like in hindsight, I should have gone where my friends were because that was the higher value for me at that point.
Yeah.
And so, but part of it is go tour some campuses. And if you like the vibe of a place, if you know people that are going there, or you don't know people that are going there. I know some people who choose in both directions. And so
the other thing is that my major was English literature. So don't take advice from me.
Yeah. Communication degree over here.
I wish looking back, I wish I would have gotten a business degree
for sure. But you knew more than likely is your career path was either going to be more school, which was law school for you, or it was going to be taking that next step in either comics or some of the other things that you pursued.
Know I wanted, but I didn't know.
Matt Noonan in the chat says go to Arizona State.
Okay.
It's in Phoenix.
It's also one of the top 3 party schools in the entire country.
There we go.
Nice.
All right, it's time for some Twitter questions.
Twitter questions. You got questions and you have them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Let's get down to it.
Jimmy, I would imagine.
All right. I would imagine Jimmy.
I would imagine first Twitter question.
Jimmy, I would imagine.
Comes from B-Man Types, who wants to know, should I move from Nashville to Oklahoma City solely to support the team?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Although Nashville's one of the best cities in the entire country.
Yeah.
Support it from afar.
It's cheaper than Nashville.
Have you guys ever been?
Oh, yeah.
Nashville? Yeah.
I'm not.
I've been a couple times. Love it.
I've heard
Nashville's cool.
You haven't been to Nashville?
No.
Y'all should go.
Freaking
it's
loser.
so fun. Broadway is their main strip. It's so fun.
It's cool.
All right, I'm going.
Tennessee is just like a beautiful state in general.
It is beautiful.
Have you ever been to Memphis?
I've been to both.
You've been to Memphis?
It's just hard. You drive 8 hours from Oklahoma City to get to Memphis, and then you got another 3 to 4 to get to Nashville.
I'm done with driving. I'm done.
Oh, really? You just got a new
You just got
car,
a new
dude.
car.
You
Not
love driving.
Not driving it.
Liar.
Flying.
Yeah, Nashville. You can get to Nashville. I don't know if it's direct. Maybe there are some direct flights to Nashville, but
Nashville's great. Stay there.
great food, great culture. Enjoy it.
All right, let's go to our next Twitter question. It comes from @OKC Thundercover, who says, lots of Chet v. Wimby rivalry discussion. Could this be Wilt Wimby v. Russell Chet 2.0? Wilt v. Russell 2.0.
Wilt be Wimby Russell. God. Yeah, it could be.
It won't be.
It could be something like that.
Yeah, it just.
But I don't really know what that was like.
So
I mean, the league was smaller. Everything. I mean, there's
a
so
lot
many
of things
to actually get to that. It's gonna have to. I mean, both both are going to have to win like multiple championships. I mean, yes, I get all the reasons why it would not be that, but
two tall guys that are a rivalry, sure.
Mm-hmm.
definitely. I mean, the league is going to force it to happen no matter what.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
Let's go to our next Twitter question. It comes from at Ibrahim Kaleem 7, who wants to know, do you think our first seed is sustainable?
yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league. They have the second best net rating in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that tells you the caliber of team that they are.
It's going to be OKC, Denver, or Minnesota.
Yeah.
Or the Clippers. Clippers are one game back. In
Clippers
the
That's
are
true. They're creeping up.
Clippers are right there.
Yeah, you can get from Oklahoma City to Nashville nonstop.
Wow.
Oh wow.
$106 on Southwest.
Whoa.
Well, see you there.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Here's just for a second to go a little bit deeper into that question. I think the Thunder have had incredible health, which is obviously we know can change.
I thought you were about to go deep on Nashville,
in a
honestly.
game. Yeah. So anyway, live music, Tennessee Titans, but that's all I got. Sorry. I actually don't like Nashville. I just realized, but no,
hot chicken.
hot chicken. You look at you look at the other teams that are competing, right? Minnesota is the one that people trust the least, probably of those four. The Nuggets aren't going to put their energy in getting the seed. Like their goal is to be healthy and playing great basketball come playoffs.
Yeah.
And the Clippers is always going to be the question of health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like are Paul George and Kawhi going to stay healthy for the remainder of the season? And that's a 50-50 assumption. And I know the Thunder, Chet, blah, 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 blah. And they've had pretty unique health over the course of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I do trust the Thunder's depth and the ability to sustain themselves in some of that as well. But, I think there's a lot of question marks on the will that these other teams outside of Minnesota would have to really put all in for that.
Yeah. They're all within 2.5 games of each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
All four of those teams. So, I mean, I think they're going to be a top 4 seed. Whether they end up first or not is going to depend on, there's going to be some luck in there for them to actually get there. But to just achieve that this season, to be 31-13.
Speaking of 31-13, that's a nice shirt you got on there, Andrew. Can you stand up and show everybody?
Well, it looks good.
Yeah.
Wow. Where did you get that?
I got this from, that's probably the easy way to show it. I got this from
Us.
Down to Dunk's
Shopify
store, which you can find on our Twitter account.
Oh, yeah. The link is in the bio, isn't
Link
it?
is in the bio. It's a beautiful shirt. High quality.
Cool.
Comfort Colors, everyone, which is a good shirt on your body.
True.
Feels good.
No chafe.
No chafe. Nips will be fine.
Okay, never mind.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Hey, our next Twitter
Chafe
question comes from
Penny in the chat says she got that shirt. It's even better in person.
Whoa. Comes from at Gunnison _ and it wants to know on a scale of Shrek to Aladdin 2, The Return of Jafar, what is J-Dub's ceiling?
Is he saying
Is he saying the Return of Jafar? Is he saying
Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar.
Right.
Which
Like
one
that's-
is
like
that better?
I think he's saying Shrek is the best.
Okay.
Aladdin 2, The Return of Jafar is
even
the worst.
better?
I think he's saying it's the worst.
It's not I mean, it's
He's
great.
saying it's the. I don't think.
I really liked it.
It's great.
It is good.
Did that one go straight to video or was that in the
Yes.
Yeah,
theaters?
straight to DVD, and it was
Yeah,
good.
and it should have
They
been.
changed some of the characters though. Like
Got it on
Robin
my
Williams
birthday.
was he still the genie?
Yes.
Was he? I don't know.
Yes.
really?
Was he?
Yes. Yes.
Why didn't it go to theaters? It should have.
It should have. It was great.
Did they make a Flubber too?
No.
They should have. Flubber was on. My kids were watching Flubber at my parents' house the
Yeah.
other day.
Do you have a good like too
Flub
fast,
fact?
too fast, too furious for Flubber?
Say it again.
Too hilarious. Too fast,
Too fast, too flurious.
That's
Too
what I
flubberous?
thought. Flubber 2.
Flubberer.
Okay. The scale.
J-Dub, man, he's a Shrek, man. If that's the top, there's no reason he's not an all NBA type guy. Like he's incredible already as a second-year player. His skill set is he's just unbelievable. He's physically imposing in a lot of ways for his position. And he is gifted at everything that you want a basketball player to do, right? He can shoot, he can pass, he can rebound, he can defend. Like, he's fantastic.
Also-
J-Dub is the second best player on this team, and he will be the second best. He will be the pillar of this team, him and Shai. And I love Chet. I think Chet, I think the 1-2-3 punch for this team going forward is, here's what I want to say. And I'm just going to say it. Why not? The potential of this team is better than the earlier Thunder team, without question, in my opinion.
Wow.
I think it's, and a lot of it's just because of the balance that those three have.
And the coach.
But you also,
And the coach.
but you have three
supporting
guys.
cast.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe, and I'm not even to the point where I really believe this anymore. This is how in I am on Shai. The ceiling of Kevin is probably higher than the ceiling of Shai, although Shai is playing at an all-world level. I understand all of those things. Then you go from Kevin to Russ, and then that's where Dub slides into that conversation. And I'm not going to put them on the same level. Russ accomplished a ton. I understand all of those things.
Yeah.
But we're talking second year for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add Chet. The Thunder have never had a third guy
That's this good.
that is an all-star, all-NBA level guy like Chet will be. Like, it was, the best was Serge at some
I
point,
mean,
right?
James
Harden, but that didn't count, I don't think, because he was just the sixth man. Like, we didn't see him as, I mean, I guess we did, but it just never felt the same. And that's not even mentioning, like, when you start adding all these other pieces where it's like there's a depth to this team that they never did not ever feel like they had. In those younger
Harden
teams.
in his last year with the Thunder, in his third year, 16, 4, and 3 is what he averaged.
On how many minutes?
31.
Wow.
I mean, he was really good.
He was fantastic. I'm not saying that. It's just like, it just feels.
But imagine what
And Dub this year, in about the same amount of minutes, 18, 4, and 4.
Yeah.
You know, Dub has the chance to be one of, like, the best wings in the league, period. Like, in like 3 or 4 years, we could be looking at the best point guard in the NBA, which we already have. Shai is the best point guard in the NBA.
Yeah.
One of the best wings.
Luka?
He's better than Luka. I'm sorry.
Just because of the defensive end?
Yeah, because he is literally the best player on defense at what he does. There's not one player that's better than him at what he does, and he's showing it statistically.
Well, not to mention the fact that I just think that the way that this is way biased, way homerism, but I'm like, you look at just the on the court antics between the two, and that in itself for me is like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, Shai complains like every other NBA player, but not enough to stop the game.
Yeah. And also, he plays defense. And Luka he opts out on that end.
Well, the other thing, like, when we were comparing J-Dub to Harden, like, J-Dub's second year versus Harden's third year, true, but what else does Harden not do? Play defense. And so
He was pretty good on defense with the Thunder.
yeah, but the thing is that, like, they are comparable to these players that went on to be great, and they're earlier in the process of where those players were.
Dub's unreal.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's really, really good.
The maturity of the games of these guys at this, like, age is so far beyond what the maturity was of, like, Russ at this time.
But you look at it and you're like, you think, like, J-Dub,
Wait, what are you trying to say?
you'd all think that
it wasn't there.
J-Dub would become, it's going to be like our third best player. Like, that's the idea with how good we think Chet is going to be.
Yeah.
But he's already so good.
Well,
Also, it's different that he plays such a different position. Like, there's no overlap with what Chet does versus Shai
That's
and
the thing.
Dub.
you have three distinctly important
guard, wing,
positions.
center.
Yeah. But they
Versus
don't.
you kind of had two at least of the same.
But
Yeah,
they don't.
and then
But they
KD.
don't overlap each other like that old Thunder, my turn, your turn stuff between.
That's a big
between
deal too. Is the way
KD
they
and
play.
Russ. Yeah.
The way they play.
Yeah. And so I think when you have that, that's why I agree, Jay, with your thing that this group is going to be better, and
They have a chance.
yeah,
They're
It's the
gonna
most
they're gonna
fun
have to actually
And do it in the
do
playoffs,
it.
I know.
Like, they're gonna have to actually do it. You can see the path to where they could get there, but also, like, let's not, like, understate like getting to the Western Conference Finals as many times as like Russ and KD did. That's not easy to do. I mean, ask Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and those guys how many times they got to the conference finals. It's 0.
True.
It is tough to get to the West Finals over and over and over again. So, like, they have the potential to be that? Yes. But to actually do it.
Sure.
Where, I mean, the expectation after like a couple of years of them being in the playoffs is like, yeah, we're going to be in the West Finals every single year. Yeah. And they actually did it, unless they were hurt. Yeah. They actually did it. And so to actually get there.
I know. I get all of that. That's why I was like, as far as potential and the ceiling of this team.
Yeah.
In theory, I don't know why you wouldn't think that this could be like a perennial championship contending team.
And also you think about the picks too that they have. They have the trajectory of what should be the team of the next like decade. 5 to 8 years. Like they have that. Whenever you factor in that they're going to have all these picks and they're going to have the chance to like actually like bring in what they think is the perfect team for these guys, they're going to have that opportunity. And so this is just the beginning of all of this. This is just step one. And so I'm with you that they like have that potential to be that. They've got to go do it.
Yep.
They have to execute. They have to bring in the right players around them. They have to develop these guys in the right way. But also, like Taylor mentioned it, the coaching is so much different than the first time around too.
Yeah.
Like the belief that I have and that really like the entire organization, you can't talk to one person in the organization without them just like, can you believe Mark? Like, can you believe this guy? Like how good he is? Like people, I mean, everybody loves and respects this guy. Like so much. And like, I can't believe what he's able to do.
Do you think he could wear sunglasses
during the games?
He just needs real glasses.
I don't know. I think it's actually the light. I think it's the brightness that's the problem.
I don't think so. Have you ever done that at the Jumbotron?
No. But I'm not a 90-year-old in a 40-year-old's body like Mark.
38 is not 40 yet.
Man, he'd wear like Oakleys, right? Do you know what you
think?
Or
like the LeVar Burton from Star Trek Enterprise.
No.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
No, he'd wear Oakleys.
Aviators.
He'd actually wear the ones that
Aviators.
For sure.
He'd wear the ones that go there, but then go over the top of your head.
Yes.
Oh,
please.
Wow.
That they have it.
Get on it, Photoshop.
They have it every sunglass store, but I've never seen a single person wear.
Yeah, probably Kanye does.
No, I've never seen them.
I think wait, who did Cisco? He did Thong Song, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think for some reason he wore them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever tried them on?
No.
Please do. Next time you're at the mall, try them on and take a picture with them on.
Yeah.
They look
Send them to
insane.
us.
It'd be cool if Coach D wore the Morpheus sunglasses too.
Oh, super tiny.
Yeah,
super
but like
tiny.
no like
there's
arms
no
or
way.
whatever.
Well, you have to have arms, but just super tiny lenses.
Are they called arms?
I don't know. What are they called? Legs or arms?
I think they're called legs.
I think we just think they look like legs.
I know, but I don't know what they probably have some name. But one of my favorite things.
I broke the arms on my leg. Yeah, sure.
Arms on my
On
leg.
my glasses. I broke the arm that grows out of my leg.
Dang, come on. Sounds like the arm that grows out of your leg.
Oh, you're
Sounds like you're saying something else.
Are you guys miffed and are you guys peeved?
You're miffed.
Thank you.
You're flubber.
Miffed and peeved.
Yeah, I'm miffed.
Ooh.
Last week, I was not feeling great. And I'm standing at my kitchen sink and looking out the window.
Oh.
And I see that a pipe has burst outside.
Ooh.
It's like 11 degrees on that Friday.
Oh man.
And so it's like in a part of our sprinkler system. And it must have burst hours ago.
Oh.
Because this whole side of the driveway was an ice skating rink.
Ooh.
And and I couldn't figure out like where it was coming from. And so I had to shut the water off to the entire house, but I couldn't shut the water off. Did you just break it again?
No,
You did.
I'm about to be miffed and peeved.
I'm miffed now. Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. I didn't touch it.
Disagree.
It did it on its own. I didn't touch it.
Jay, I don't believe you.
Watch the film.
Oh, we don't have film of the backside. I mean, anyways, got it.
So how'd you do? What did you?
So, anyways, I had to. So, I eventually got the water turned off the house. I had to call people all day long to get somebody out here, and I did get a guy out here, and he was awesome. He fixed it. He did a great job. His name is Bruce Cruz, and the whole rest of the day I've been singing.
Bruce Cruz.
It's like Blues Clues.
I've been singing the Blues Clues, but to his name
Bruce Cruz.
ever since he left. I was
I was thinking Booze Cruise.
I was thinking Bruce Cruz, Bruce Cruz. I was like, if I was going to write a jingle, I would just sing that.
Do you remember the time in your life when it froze and you just didn't care? Like, it's the most stressful as a homeowner.
Oh, it's the worst thing.
You're just
ever.
stressed out for like a
it's-
whole week.
It is the worst. My anxiety is just
Like
like
terrible.
just
Especially like
hits the
I know
roof.
you shut your pool down, but like having a pool in the winter and it's freezing. You're just
Yeah,
like,
that's the one thing I'm glad. But like,
oh,
you're worried about like frozen pipes. You're worried about like this and that. I mean, it is the worst when when it's like under 20.
for multiple days.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be.
It's the absolute worst.
That's what you guys get for
It's
achieving
terrible.
and being
You gotta be
successful.
dripping. You gotta be dripping.
I mean, you've got it. I mean, for your house, like
You're dripping.
you're on a
Yeah.
crawl space.
You're dripping.
Am I?
I think.
Yeah, you are. If you're in the village.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're dripping.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm dripping.
I mean, you gotta
No
be
doubt.
dripping.
I'm
You
dripping.
gotta be dripping. It's the worst. We had pipes freeze in our attic too. I had to get up there with a
Oh
hair dryer,
Yep.
and it's like, what am I?
man.
I had to this year finally. So I have a backflow preventer for my sprinkler system that every year I just don't do anything about. I cover it, but I don't do anything, and it just
Yeah.
breaks every year. So I
Yeah.
replace it every year, and it's not crazy, but it's not cheap to fix. And so finally, I was like, why don't I just spend $20 and get like electric heating tape,
Yeah,
like that stuff you wrap up? And so this year I just plugged her in, and
yeah.
it's probably still broken, but
But you got that.
but I got that going on
All right. Thunder play the Pelicans tonight
on channel 52.
on channel 52.
Cartoon Network.
It was Cartoon Network.
Oh, it's not now.
No,
Now
Man, I used to know
it's-
all of those Cox channels.
Yeah, that was Cox.
37 used to be Fox Sports.
56.
29
Comedy
ESPN.
Central.
56 was Comedy Central.
30.
55 MTV2.
29 was ESPN. 28 was ESPN,
ESPN
2.
2.
Yeah.
30 was MTV.
MTV.
31 was VH1 or 32 was VH1.
40,
No.
40,
I thought it was
46.
46.
46
yeah.
VH1.
My fault.
Yeah.
TNT was 32.
Yep. Or 31.
31.
Oh, was it 31?
Yeah.
Yeah.
USA was 34. I think.
34.
Wow.
ABC Family 36
Uh-huh.
or 35.
Yeah.
Right around
35, I think.
Great. I love.
Wow. My kids will never know that world.
Animal Planet 59.
Yeah,
Animal
you're close.
Planet. you're in the vicinity.
All of the news stations were 42, 43, and 44.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Like MSNBC was 42,
Uh-huh.
CNN was 43, and Fox News was 44.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I used to so I'll miff and peep real quick. So my son last week was sick, so he stayed home.
Mhm.
And like kids these days.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Get
don't even
off
get me
my
started.
lawn.
No,
Get
I'm just saying-
started.
Here's all I was gonna say. Just let me finish. All I was gonna say is like, can you imagine? Like, I had to watch Price is Right
Yeah.
and had to figure out was I gonna spend time watching soap operas if I was sick at home? And
Mhm.
Right.
just an endless supply of entertainment for him the
Sure.
whole day.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, but it makes me a little jelly.
Yeah.
I am so glad I'm not a child today because I just think there's social media and stuff. There's so many.
You have to have a
chances.
filter way more.
There
than
are
we
so
probably
many
did when we were
chances
kids.
to
Yeah.
ruin your life that are just out there.
That's so
you
true.
Can just do it any moment.
Yeah, you're right.
And we would have.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so glad that we didn't just
Our high school,
flipping out a camera back. You can record anything that's happening.
dude.
Although I do wish somebody had a video of Andrew dressing up like Gollum for school.
I could find it somewhere.
Do you have one?
I probably do.
Hmm.
He was Gollum. He was not just Gollum. He was Gollum.
Yeah.
And I have the video of Gollum doing
Yeah.
the comedian Dave Chappelle from Nutty Professor.
In
Yeah.
a diaper?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's crouched down like Gollum and say, "Women be shopping." You cannot stop a woman for shopping.
That's
Yeah.
a great bit.
It was.
It's hilarious. to us, to the people we showed it to.
To the
Did-
vast audience that we showed it to.
Did they think it was funny? No.
No,
But that made it funnier
it
to
got
us.
way funnier to us when the crowd was completely silent.
It feels like a skit on I Think You Should Leave,
And,
actually.
Yeah.
Alex was Gandalf and I was Frodo. And so I'm on my knees walking through my backyard next to Alex, who's in this big row. It was very funny.
It's absurd. It's got to be somewhere.
Plus, we talked our friends into like this girl who was in charge of this event,
Oh, this is
being like,
bad.
let's do Lord of the Rings themed. Like, it's like, okay.
and then we proceeded to the only thing that was Lord of the Rings about it was our costumes.
Yes. Nothing really else.
All the skits had nothing to do with Lord of the Rings,
Yeah, it was Lord of the Rings.
but it was just us doing impressions of other things as Lord of the Rings characters.
I think that's very funny though.
That's all that it was.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah,
And then Andrew the whole day was running around in a diaper.
it was
It was great. It
See, that could not happen.
a bald cap and
Today.
a diaper all day long.
was good.
You could not be at school in just a diaper.
To have a wish to catch a fish so juicy sweet.
So good. You're really good at that.
Schmiedel's good.
All right,
Did you pee in the diaper?
you guys have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the Pelicans game. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.